What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Deluxe class Cliffjumper as he appeared in Transformers Fall of Cybertron, not War for Cybertron, even though that they are in the same continuity. Cliffjumper never technically appeared in War for Cybertron, but taking a quick look at the box here we do have nice art of Cliffjumper, Gamer Edition Cliffjumper, number 5. Transformers War for Cybertron, even though it really is just Fall of Cybertron. In this case, I guess they're just going to call them all War for Cybertron. Um, nice more nice art here on the side. Studio Series number 5 there as well, and then got some more nice art here on the side as well with Cliffjumper and this little nice D-pad. And then finally we have our obligatory product shots as well as the display base. I apologize if I'm not taking the display bases out. It's just I don't really care for it, so I'm not really going to really look at it. Just going to take up room and space for me. But overall, Hasbro always kills it with the box, even though this isn't crazy, still very nice. And without further ado, we'll take this guy out of the box and see how he is. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Studio Series Transformers Gamer Edition Deluxe Class Cliffjumper from War for Cybertron opened up and out of it, from Fall of Cybertron opened up and out of the box. And I gotta say, this guy looks good. I mean, if you guys like the Bumblebee figure, again, Cliffjumper is just usually always a repaint of the Bumblebee figure, so there's nothing too crazy with this, although it's just except the fact that it's Bumblebee just literally red and with a new head sculpt. You still do get the same accessories, so you do have these little tabs here that you can plug the weapons into for vehicle storage. You also have the undercarriage where you can plug the sword into as per usual, and these are literally the exact same, but they are nicely molded. This is the plasma cannon from War for Cybertron, which is very nicely molded, although I wish there was more paint, but overall still nicely molded. And then we have the Energon battle pistol as well from Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron, very nice. Overall, again, wish there was more paint, but what are you going to do? They are literally the exact same as the Bumblebee one, so there's no major difference at all, like literally none. And you can tell that they definitely, did save money with this just because, well, the only difference between this thing is the paint as well as the head sculpt. So pretty much the same figure as Bumblebee all the way around. Overall, really nice. I mean, you do have some nice details here overall. Like, there's nothing really crazy about it. It just looks very nice. It also rolls very nicely. So really, really cool there. But yeah, I mean, it's really nice and red. The only part that's not color accurate is this part, which this should all be black. But other than that, it still looks really good. Now, how do I think about this in comparison to Bumblebee? I like Bumblebee a bit better, even though I like the color red more than I do yellow. I don't know. I think that you lose this sort of glowy energon detail as you saw in the game because this guy is all red, and they did change this to like a lighter pink or something like that. So it does really blend in. Again, you have a really nice Autobot logo right there. Overall, again, really, really nice. Just a repaint of Bumblebee. If you like the Bumblebee figure, you're going to like this one as well. So getting into some comparisons. Here we have Cliffjumper with both the Studio Series Deluxe Class Barricade as well as the Studio Series Game Edition Deluxe Voyager Class Megatron. As you can see, again, if you saw the Bumblebee scaling in the other video, these guys scale ridiculously. But I mean, this guy does look cool. I won't deny that. Just too big. Overall, this guy very much smaller, but you can see the scale here. And then we'll check Megatron here with the scale. Yes, I know I have the mace on the tank form, but I just wanted to store it on there for the time being. But yeah, while I was doing these reviews. So you can see the scaling between these guys. They look alright together. Nothing too crazy. And then here we have him with the leader of the Autobots, Optimus Prime. You can see how these guys scale together. Look very nice together. Again, nothing too crazy, but they do look nice together, even though that these technically in continuity didn't really ever interact with one another, at least with Optimus in this form. So, looks really nice otherwise. And finally, the best for last, here he is with his brother, his mold mate Bumblebee. And they look very good together. Again, if you like this figure, you will like this one. There's really not that much of a difference between these two, besides, again, the paint and the head sculpt. So overall, really, really nice stuff. Nothing too crazy. Same undercarriage, basically same back. Now, that is one disappointing thing that I will point out since I just noticed it too, and that I forgot to point it out because this joggled my memory. Since the taillights here are red, they never bothered like changing the colors on these ones for Cliffjumper, which kind of blows, but what are you going to do? I mean, it still looks nice. It's just you lose all of the detail for the the taillights, because this guy is yellow and this guy is red and the taillights are red. So other than that, still looks really good. Can't really complain. Now, getting into the transformation. When it comes to the transformation for this guy, I kind of am not the biggest fan. It's not easy. It's not a very easy transformation. Into robot mode, I think is easier than going from robot mode to vehicle mode, which I will show that, but it's a bit of a struggle. I'm not the biggest fan of this transformation, although it results in a pretty solid looking robot mode. Excuse me. I've been trying to transform this thing for the past few days, on and off, trying to get used to it. So I hope I'm able to do you guys justice. So to transform this guy, let's come here to the back first. What I like to do is just take this panel and you just flip it. Basically, there's two slots here where this is tabbed into, so you just take that, flip that up. Next thing I like to do is to sort of take this whole leg section and rotate it out like so, like that. Then you can take the whole waist assembly and you can just rotate it and twist it around. Now keep this like this for now, just so we can get all of this crap out of the way. Also remove the sword. That's my fault. From here, what I like to do is sort of take these sections and pull them down. These are going to become his arms, like this. Also, real quick, one reason I'm showing the transformation, I never did a review for this guy. So I would, if I did a review for a, similar mold, I would just sort of speed up play music transformation, but, I haven't done a review for this guy, so I'll just show this to you guys anyway. But from here, what I like to do is you can sort of, so these fender sections will essentially fold in, so you can kind of start to fold them in, although it'll push the arms in. And then what you can do, that gives you clearance to essentially pull the arms out, not like literally pull it off the ball joint like that, but rotate them out. I'm sorry about that. You can rotate these out. It gives you clearance to do that. So what I like to do, why is this is now detaching? I apologize. This is actually just breaking now while I'm doing this. But essentially just flail the arms out to the sides here just for the time being, just so you have some clearance. And then what you can do from here is essentially you start to flip this down, but not all the way, because we still have to do the this panel here. This panel is really annoying. So rotate it around like that, and then just push it up like this and through, and sort of flare these back out so you can get clearance with that, and then flare them back in. And then now you can take this entire section and rotate it back down. Now what you just saw there, so basically what you'll see is that there is a tab here, and then there is the slot on that panel, and all you got to do is rotate this thing all the way down and essentially slot that right into place. Just gotta, excuse me, slot it right into place. This is a little bit like so. Right, like that. Now, one thing you notice with my copy, I don't know how this is on other people's copies, but the unfortunate bit is this part for some reason is super loose on this, and I don't know why. It's probably QC among those lines. It's just really freaking annoying, but I don't know if that's consistent on other copies, but for me this always pops off when I transform it. But you take this panel, you can just fold it up like this, come down here to the legs. Now these are a little bit tricky. What I like to do is sort of bend them a little bit, and then you can rotate this part out. Then what you do is you rotate the whole leg around, and then you fold out the toe, fold it all the way, and then fold this panel in like so. Then do the same here. So all you got to do, rotate it like so, fold the toe out, fold the whole foot assembly around, rotate it down and around like so, then fold this panel, sort of straighten him out a bit, do this, rotate this up, fold the fist out, and then same on this side, rotate this around and fold the fist up. You sort of rotate the arms around, and then you can take these shoulder pads, these are supposed to be like this, and then you fold them down like this. And then, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Fall of Cybertron, or Studio Series Gamer Edition Cliffjumper, transformed into his robot mode. And I gotta say, guys, this guy looks really awesome. I mean, he does look great in his robot mode. I know that people are finicky about the chest, but I think it looks fine. I obviously from maybe this angle, it does look a bit funky and a little bit too stretched out. But overall, what I'm gonna do here, just to give you guys a comparison, here's Cliffjumper, and I will put the actual picture of him from Fall of Cybertron there, and maybe some other pictures if I have them. But yeah, I do have the game on PC, so I'll probably end up taking screenshots of it. But yeah, you can see it right here. I think it compares really well. And I think if we get a Jazz figure, these two will go like two peas in the pod. So really, really excited if they do make us a Jazz figure, because that's a fantastic reimagining of the original G1 Jazz. So really, really cool here. So overall, again, I think he does look good. And then you can take his weapons, and obviously you can put the sword so you have the little peg there, and then you can just peg that into his hand. A little bit finicky there, but still looks good. Taking a look at some of the details here, let's take a look at the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt looks great. Yeah, you can see that there. Very nice blue for the eyes, nice silver for the mouth plate, nice silver for the horns. He's a bit chunkier than Bumblebee, so you don't get really all that much movement from the back to the back there, which really blows, but what are you going to do? Again, nice Autobot logo, and all this detail does go out throughout the entire figure. I mean, you do have some nice molded in detail. It is a bit lost because of all the red plastic, but overall still really nice. And taking a look at the back here, this is how for the most part that the Transformers from the game looked when you looked at them from the back. This is basically what you saw, unlike Megatron, which that's not at all, not even close to what you saw from the back when you were in the third person. But I think that goes without saying. Let's go for the articulation first here. So going for the articulation, head's on the ball joint. It's hard to get up and down movement because of how thick the head is, but you can almost get a full 360, not quite, but you can get some nice side to side, just a bit tough with this basically this part of the this gray part of the like this hinge keeps getting caught on the head, so sometimes it's hard to turn it. It's kind of annoying, but other than that, you can do a full 360 with the arm. You can go out. You can lift this up if you want to go out a little more out. You can go in. You can have I think it's 90 degree, a little more than about 90 degrees at the elbow. You do have an upper bicep rotation. No fist articulation, unfortunately. And the shoulder panel came off, which really blows. Let's see if we can get that back on. There we go. Or not. Then for the waist, you do get a full 360 because of the transformation, but unfortunately, the way that this goes, sometimes you get this little funky thing with the head. You can kind of see what's happening, but you do get full 360, which is nice. You get forward, you get back really far, you get an upper thigh rotation, and then you do get a little more than 90 degrees at the knee, which is nice, but no ankle rocker. Like someone else pointed out, you can turn this around, and then you can turn the leg around if you do want ankle rocker, which is the thing, but I don't like doing that, so I'm just gonna keep it how it's supposed to be, like this. So we'll keep it like that. But articulation's alright for a deluxe. It's just the feet are really inhibited, and I feel bad for saying this, but the QC is really hurting me for this figure overall, even though he looks great. So we're gonna set him off to the back here, and we'll do some comparisons. So here's Cliffjumper. Here he is with Studio Series Gamer Edition Deluxe Class Barricade, Voyager Class Megatron, Voyager Class Optimus Prime, and his mold mate Bumblebee. Now again, I do think that these all look good together. I think that he scales very nicely amongst all the others in robot mode. Just again, the QC and some of the looseness of this figure just kind of hurts me a bit. Alright, now one little feature I did forget to show, so you still do have the like gimmick where you can remove the arm, and then you can take like the plasma cannon or the battle pistol, and you can just plug it into the arm like they did in the games, how they shifted weapons and such. And this does look very cool. I think I'll end up displaying Cliffjumper with the gun or the sword. I'm not sure, maybe Cliffjumper with the sword and Bumblebee with the gun. But this does look nice overall. Again, nothing too crazy, but it does look nice. And I'm really happy with it. So if you guys want to see, just so I'll show it off, you can remove that, and then we can also chuck the battle pistol on as well, like that. Yeah, looks very nice. Overall, very, very happy with it. Just, this is a gimmick that I probably will only use on certain figures. Like Megatron, definitely not going to be used. Optimus will be used. Barricade, I'm not sure, so we'll end up seeing how that rolls. But basically, you can see that there's just a hole in there, and then you just plug this in like so. Just take a second. There we go. Plug that in like that. So overall, again, very, very nice. All right, now we are on to the reverse transformation, and this is the part I've personally been loathing because I really do not like the reverse transformation for this guy. But you guys can see I have removed the sword, so that's your first step. Remove any weapons you have on the guy, reattach the arms. First thing I like to do, so let's come here to the head and sort of straighten it out. Then you can fold up the shoulder pads like so. Just fold them up like this until they sort of click into place. Then what I like to do after this, you can take this entire back section and just rotate it down. And then you sort of can take this entire section and just lift it up. And then basically what I like to do right here is just fold this panel inwards. And then you can just bend it down because the physics will end up pushing this thing into place. So then you can fold it down like this. What I like to do is to then get this out of the way. After this, now this is really tricky. This means a ton. So you see these two little slots right there, these two little rivets right there, this and this. Basically, those will slot into this sort of little bar right here. So you got to kind of like, not force it in, but you just got to let it go in there and just push it in there. Unless that happens again, man. I'm not even really trying to push all that hard, but it just, man, this part is really annoying to me. So try your best to get it in there. Just takes a bit of doing, but if goodness me. There we go. Now it's in there. Okay. Then you can take the waist and you can rotate it all the way around. Then for the arms, all you got to do, fold the fists in. Rotate this part like so. Do the same on this side. Rotate it like so. And then all you got to do, essentially, just sort of line this up, but basically you fold this in like so, the arm, and then the shoulder pad will line up with this part here. Rotate the fist around, fold the fender out, and then just rotate it up like so. So again, same side, so other side, so just sort of rotate this all the way in. Like, if it won't break, now it's the other shoulder. But try and rotate it in like so. Then all you got to do, take this section, the fender folded out, twist the arm, and rotate it up and in. And then it'll essentially just slot into that spot right there. And then from there, what you got to do for the legs. So sort of fold it around and then rotate it and anchor it, sort of accordion it like so. And essentially you have these two little tabs will slot into these two little tabs up here. And then essentially there is this little tab here that will slide into this spot like right there. So you got to sort of line it up. But if you've done the waist thing that I showed you, it should line up just fine. Then do the same on this side. So again, go on this side. Do this, rotate this around, then accordion it like so. Do this, and then this should line up relatively nicely. Not the best, but it should line up for the most part, like so. Almost. Like that. Do your best to get that. Now to do the feet, very simple. So take these sections. All I like to do is fold them in like this. And then you can sort of rotate the foot all the way in, then fold these all the way down, then take the toe sections, fold those up. Take this, again, there's two tabs on the top here, two holes there, and you just fold that down like that. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have Cliffjumper back in his little Cybertronian car mode. Alright, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Deluxe Class Cliffjumper from Fall of Cybertron. This is a decent figure. I do think it's good, and I think it represents the character extremely well from the Fall of Cybertron game. But at the end of the day, the transformation can be finicky. The QC really hurts me with this one. because you can see throughout the video, arms popping off, shoulder pads popping off, the whole back assembly here is falling off. I mean, every time I try and transform it, and it's really annoying. And unfortunately, I'm gonna dock it for that. Now I know that not every copy will necessarily be like this, but I have been seeing at least some other people with QC issues just like they're similar to mine. I'd love to hear if you had the same. If you have this figure, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. But overall, I still think it represents the character well. The vehicle mode looks great. I think out of a 10, I'll probably give this thing like a 7. I do think it is really good, but at the end of the day, would I recommend it? If you love the games, yeah, go ahead and pick this thing up. But at the end of the day, if you're not a big fan of the games, then this is an easy pass because this guy is just like, it's hard for me to recommend it with all these QC issues that I currently have. And if you have, and I don't want you guys to get these either. But at the end of the day, if you guys want to pick this figure up, I did pick mine up, I believe, on the Big Bad Toy Store. I'll leave links to that in the description below. Also, Hasbro Pulse and Amazon, I will leave links to those below. Again, I apologize if stock is going out, but I'll just provide you guys the links anyway, just in case you see that stock might, there might be restock. But other than that, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, follow me in the socials linked in the description below. And with that, guys, I will catch you guys all in the next video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out, guys.